Hey everybody. So, I want to talk about Patrick Kane a little bit because despite Chicago being a last place team, a rebuilding team, and in a really, really bad place right now, Patrick Kane continues to be one of the best players in the NHL. And, it would be so easy for him, a three-time Stanley Cup champion, a guy who's making $10.5 million per year, has made as much money as he wants in the NHL, to just say, you know what, screw this, we suck right now, we're not going to win, I'm just going to go out there and half-ass it every day, maybe, take a few games off, oh, my hamstring's not feeling great. It'd be so easy for him just to pack it in and call it quits on this season until Chicago rebuilds and gets back headed in the right direction. But has Patrick Kane done that? No, absolutely not. He's done the exact opposite. He has continued to lead this team in points, in goal scoring, and just lead by example through the last couple of years, which have not been very good for the Blackhawks. And just look at what he's doing again this season. 50 games played, Kane has 29 goals, 42 assists for 71 points in 50 games. He's fifth in the NHL in scoring on one of, if not the worst team in the league. Probably not the worst. I think Ottawa's probably the worst team in the league. One of the worst teams in the league. I mean, it's incredible, and I feel like Kane doesn't always get talked about in that upper echelon of players. He's kind of a forgotten about guy. I don't know if it's just because he's been around for so long, but when you hear people talk about the great players in the game, Patrick Kane's name doesn't get said a lot, and I really think it should, because he is one of the best players in the game. He just happens to be on a really lousy team right now, but he was also on the same team when they won 3 Stanley Cups and were a perennial Stanley Cup favorite. So, what he's done throughout his career speaks for itself. His incredible goal scoring, his point production. He's, got a Stanley Cup winning goal. A guy who's consistently a 30-goal scorer. And it doesn't matter how good or bad the team is. He always produces personally at a very high level. I thought he looked fantastic in the All-Star game on Saturday night. He got a number of breakaways for the Central Division team, and he made a number of great passing plays as well. I think that's something, people think of Patrick Kane, they think goal scorer, they think of his goal scoring ability, his shot. He's an incredible playmaker as well. That guy can move the puck, and he can thread some really awesome tight, passes into really tight spaces. And connect with teammates, and he did that. He's done that all season long. He has 42 assists, and he's just playing really, really good hockey on a team that, is going through a really tough period right now of rebuilding. But that does not take away from the player that Patrick Kane is, and I've just been thoroughly impressed watching him this season and how good he has been on such a, bottom-feeding team. A lot of players can put up points when they're on a good team, but then when they're on a bad team, their point production tumbles and goes way down. Patrick Kane puts up points no matter what team he's on. He could be, just look at the change in Chicago from 2015 till now. He can be an elite scorer on a Stanley Cup level team, or he can be an elite scorer on a last place team, which Chicago is now. And his just ability to produce year in and year out, time and time again, is remarkable, and it's worth talking about, and it's worth giving him credit for, because like I said, it would have been so easy for the Blackhawks top guys, Kane, Taves, Keith, Seabrook, to just pack it in this year. Everyone knew the Blackhawks were going to suck this year. The Blackhawks knew they were going to suck this year. They would never admit to that. They'd never say it out loud. But they knew they weren't going to be good this year. All you had to do was look at their roster. They're a team that is in a big-time rebuild right now. It would have been so easy for them just to pack it in, go through the motions, and half-ass this season. They'd probably be in the same spot in the standings as they are now if they did. and you know, they could have just mailed it in for the year, but they haven't done that. Jonathan Toews is having a bounce-back season. Patrick Kane is having a tremendous offensive season, as you can see here. They haven't given up. They haven't given in. And while their roster as a whole is not all that great right now, they're a last-place team. They're not a team that's going to be going to the playoffs. They're a team that's rebuilding, trying to acquire assets, young prospects, draft picks, and build for the future. Patrick Kane and the other Blackhawks players still are giving it a full effort, and they're still producing at a high level. And what Kane has done this year has really impressed me. To have a guy over 70 points on a team as bad and as low in the standings as the Blackhawks shows you just how great of a player Patrick Kane is. And he's going to be over 100 points this year, as a lot of players in the NHL will. I think we're going to see a remarkable number of players over 100 points this season. There's just so many that are on pace for it right now. We haven't seen scoring like this in the NHL in a long time, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a lot of fun to see the point totals getting high again. Sure, it will never be like the 80s where, you had literally guys at 200 points a season, but it's never going to be like that. But we are going to see a considerable number of players break 100 points this year. We're going to see, I think, at least one, if not multiple players break 120 points this year. Probably multiple. We might have 2 or 3 guys hit 120 this year. Kucherov's almost guaranteed to do it. Johnny Gaudreau's probably going to do it. There might be another one in there that does it. We're seeing scoring at a very high rate, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. And it's great to see these offensive players really put on a show and put up huge goal and point totals. But back to Patrick Kane, he's definitely going to be one of those guys, assuming he stays healthy. Obviously, that always you have to bank on them being healthy to do it. But he's definitely going to be a 100-point player this year. He might get to 120. I mean, he's 5th in the NHL in points. If he continues to have a fantastic season, maybe he does hit 120. I don't know if I'd bet on it, but he does have a chance to do it. And it's just been incredible to watch him this season on such a bad team play so well. I think that's really the main point I wanted to get across, was how good he's playing on a not good team. And it just shows what an incredible player Patrick Kane is. And he really should be talked about as one of the league's best more often, because I feel like he's a name that kind of flies under the radar from time to time. And it shouldn't, because he truly is one of the best players in the NHL. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.